personal credit side of things, we understand I apply for credit. If they deny me, they have to give me a good reason. It's heavily regulated. It has to report to all three bureaus. And there's a lot of laws that go into that. On the business credit and business funding side of things, it's not regulated the same. Many times people are getting denied because they're getting the cart before the horse. They're applying for things that they're not eligible for at the moment.
Right.
They're denied, and they think it's because of their personal credit. They think it's because of this and that and the other thing. And the reality is that, it could be a nuance. It could be something simple that's wrong with the way that they're set up, they're structured. Or it could be that they don't have business credit. So every creditor is going to pull business credit first, just like on the personal side. And if there's nothing there, you're red flag from the start. Doesn't mean you can't personally guarantee your way into that, but whatever that thing is, ultimately you're going to end up with a lower credit limit and not what you could have gotten if you would have done things and build things out correctly to begin with.
Because like I said, you have helped so many of the students, not just get the business funding, but with this education.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that, yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that, let's fix that.
So I'm so excited to have you back here, Justin Mirche. You have been just helping so many of my students get business credit, help, fix their business credit if they had an issue, get funding for their business. So let's get right into it because I need to know, you helped me with my personal credit. How did you get into the business credit and the business funding world?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? So the thing that kind of brought it all to my attention was my own experience starting my first company. Now, I started my first company almost a decade ago, and I did it the way you did it, the way we were taught to do it, right? We max out our personal situation. We take as much money as we can. We take personal loans, and then we pray that it works out.
Right.
And so for me, that's what I did, and it worked out. And then later on, I learned, like you learned, that there's a better way.
Yeah.
And then what I learned was that for the business owner, it's so cryptic for them. It's not straightforward like it is for personal credit. On the personal credit side of things, we understand that I apply for credit. If they deny me, they have to give me a good reason. It's heavily regulated. It has to report to all three bureaus, and there's a lot of laws that go into that. On the business credit and business funding side of things, it's not regulated the same.
Yeah.
So you may get denied and not really get an obvious answer. It doesn't, most business credit and funding opportunities don't post to the business credit bureaus. So it's so cryptic. So for me, it is.
Yes, talk about that, because that to me, I think, is what really throws business owners off their game. Like, they want to build business credit. They want this business funding, but it's almost like this hidden, unknown world that they can't even navigate how it works. So talk about, you mentioned that they don't even have to tell you why you were denied. And that is one of the big things that, because how do you fix it?
Right.
What's wrong?
That's right. Yeah. So if you personally guarantee an item, then obviously they have to give you a reason, because that falls more under personal credit, regulatory everything.
Yeah.
On the business side of things, one of the biggest things that small business owners kind of have to overcome is that a lot of small businesses are going to go out of business. Not going to make it over the next several years. And financial institutions understand this. Creditors understand this on the business side of things. So, as a small business owner, and you can generally think of a small business owner as anybody under, there's a lot of different stats.
10 million is what I've done. Less than 10 million, which I'm somebody that makes $40,000 a year, someone who makes $8 million a year. They're not really comparable, but I think from the SBA's definition, they SBA, or less in revenue.
Yeah, and I've seen SBA has a little lower. I mean, I've seen as high as 50 million. I mean, I would love to be a $50 million business, and I'm still the little guy. And that's the thing that people don't realize is that your mid-sized companies, let's say you're 100 million, 200 million, and then your large companies, business is huge in the U.S. I mean, the opportunity here, it's just insane. Yeah. And financial institutions and creditors love to work with those mid-sized companies and the large companies, because generally speaking, they can borrow, millions and millions of dollars, and fully backed by assets. Like, there's not a whole lot of risk involved in that. But small business owners, there's a lot of risk. We have to in many cases, we have to grind our full-time job. That's what I did. I was in the software industry, my full-time job where I'm trying to launch my business and we're trying to get funding together. And there's almost like this proving ground. You've got to almost prove yourself before you can get into some of the better options. And there's a couple of different ways you can prove yourself. You can have a lot of cash flow, right? Obviously, cash is king. It always works.
Yeah.
Or you can build credibility through business credit. There's nothing more than a financial institution loves to see as a business that has gone through underwriting and working with a dozen other business creditors and also financial institutions. So many times people are getting denied because they're getting the cart before the horse. They're applying for things that they're not eligible for at the moment.
Right.
They're denied, and they think it's because of their personal credit. They think it's because of this and that and the other thing. And the reality is that, it could be a nuance. It could be something simple that's wrong with the way that they're set up, they're structured. Or it could be that they don't have business credit. So every creditor is going to pull business credit first, just like on the personal side. And if there's nothing there, you're red flagged from the start.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can't personally guarantee your way into that, but whatever that thing is, ultimately you're going to end up with a lower credit limit and not what you could have gotten if you would have done things and built things out correctly to begin with.
Yeah. Great information there. So again, if you want to reach out with Justin Mirche Consultant, I'm going to make sure that there is a link in the box below. Use that link. Let them know Noelle Randall sent you, because like I said, you have helped so many of the students not just get the business funding, but with this education. So let's kind of keep going with that, because there's some real mistakes that you said. People are going after maybe loans they shouldn't be going for, or like you said, maybe putting the cart before the horse. So go into that a little bit more, because I'm seeing the mistakes and I'm really wanting to help people follow the right steps. And I know you can help them, but obviously, let's kind of tell them some of those things so they know up front.
Right. And one of the main things is that what some of the biggest phone calls I get from people, Noelle, is, and you and I talked to this about this on the phone, the line of credit issue for the small business, because small business owners, what we want is we want $1 million to do what we want with, right? And we want banks to give that to us.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
And I searched out that opportunity with my businesses, looking for, how do I get like $500,000 or $1 million? Why won't you give it to me? Why can't you trust me to do that without, collateral on my house or this or,
right.
Fire.
Yeah.
And then what I found out was it's a full underwrite and it's a high risk proposition for them. So without assets, without collateral, it's going to be pretty hard to get a significant line of credit.
Right.
Not be confused. People think line of credit, they think of high limit credit card. Sometimes that's a line of credit to them. Sometimes, they think a $20,000 line of credit is kind of a line of credit. But, for me, a line of credit is significant. You're talking $250,000, $500,000 a year. You could have this, borrow as you need and pay interest on that. So those opportunities do exist at the higher end for small business owners, at that $10 million mark, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're really hard to, achieve. And they require, in most cases, a full underwrite. They're going to want, statements, tax statements for your business, 2 or 3 years. They're going to want to see growing sales. It's a full thing. So most people in small business are not going to be at that level. But the good news is that you can get funding in different ways. You may not be able to get the holy grail of what all small business owners want, which is a bucket full of money just to do what we want with. But we can build out our business credit and methodically get funding that way.
Yeah.
A lot of times just in your EIN, a lot of times, kind of like what we were talking about with personal guarantees. If you have good personal credit, you sweeten the pot. There's going to be opportunities than you would if you just were using your EIN. Some financial institutions want to look at the business owner's credit. I get that. Yeah. If I was a financial institution and you came to me for money, I may want to check your credit,
Yeah.
Let's
talk about that one, because to me, this is the thing that I don't understand people, and I love them so much, but I don't understand why the personal guarantee is so hard for a business owner. I'm here in my logo. I'm doing business. I have several businesses. I believe in my business. I have no problem personally guaranteeing, but there's so many people that see this as such an obstacle. And I don't get it. If you believe in your business and what you're doing, what's so bad about the personal guarantee? Like, let's talk about that, because to me, that opens up the door to so much more funding when you're willing to say, I'll do that.
Right. And so it opens up the door to sometimes better opportunities.
Yeah.
The numbers just make more sense if you personally guarantee. Not I've been in that situation multiple times where I've chosen the personal guarantee over the non,
Right.
because numbers made sense, and I'm a numbers guy. I've got a degree in finance. I mean, I look at charts all day, all about the economy. So for me, if the numbers make sense, I'll do it. But no, I agree with you, and I have this discussion with our clients all the time. I talk to them about that. So it really has to do with, with their ability to take on risk. Some people are, they're risk averse. They're like, I don't want my personal assets to be in danger if something goes bad with the business. It has to do with confidence. Right. And then some people, are in the middle like me, where if it makes sense, I'll do it. If it doesn't make sense, I won't.
Right.
Try to keep everything, the no personal guarantee as much as I can, but if it makes sense, I'll do it. And for me, that works out.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got people that just have poor credit that aren't able to personally guarantee, and that's why they're staying away from that. So we deal with all three of those types of people, and we're able to successfully get all three of those personalities to business credit and funding. We might have to do it differently. It might be a little bit more challenging. Yeah. But so I think as people get more confidence in themselves and their business, I think they're willing to take more risks, especially when, like when Noelle knows, hey, I've got successful businesses and I've been doing this for a minute.
Right.
And I've been on the other side of not being successful, as have I.
Right.
So we know what both sides look like. So the fear is probably a little less.
Yeah. So again, justinmircheconsulting.com. The link is below. He helps with your company has been amazing helping my students build business credit and get business funding. So make sure you guys, if you're watching this and you're interested, it's an absolutely free consultation. He can see what he can do for you. So let's keep going with this, because I was going to say another thing about the personal guarantee that many people don't know, okay, is if in many cases, in my cases, I have personally guaranteed things. It showed up as an inquiry, on my personal credit report, but the actual trade line is not on my personal credit. So it's not affecting my debt ratio. It's only if I default, it will actually show on my credit report. And for me, that works. You know what I mean? And so let's talk about those opportunities, because there's plenty of those opportunities out here in the market that can get you, especially if you're picking up $50,000 from multiple banks kind of doing this. It's a strategy. So let's talk about that, because I think people are missing out on a lot of funding, being afraid of that personal guarantee.
No, absolutely. And a lot of people are confused by it, right? So they're like, okay, so if I personally guarantee it, then it's going to mess up my debt to income ratio. On my personal side, it's going to do all these things. And you're exactly right. It's an inquiry. That's all it is. It's one inquiry. And inquiries only affect your credit, minimally. We're talking just a couple of points. You'll get most of the points back after 6 months. After a year, there's no impact to your credit. Essentially, they're just looking to determine if the business owner is solvent. That's all they want to see. And then it goes on to your all of the activity goes on to the business credit. So to kind of clarify that, let's say that you got $50,000 worth of business credit cards on the personal side, right? And you maxed all those out. Your credit scores are going to take a massive hit. On the business credit side of things, the metrics are different. It's a completely different system. They don't care if you use the credit they give you like they do on the personal side, which is a little bit obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
They give you all this credit. They say, if you use it, we're going
to lower your credit score.
Hey, on the business side, it's not like that. So you can actually utilize the credit that they give you. And also, I don't wish bankruptcy for anybody or anybody to fail, but also, most states have a provision that your house, your car, your retirement assets are all secure, are all safe in a bankruptcy type situation. Yeah. So if you personally guarantee something, they can't take those from you. I'm talking, I think you can have, I want to say $5 million in your retirement account that they can't touch.
At the time of this recording, when I last checked, it was like $5 million.
Right? It's like $5 million, right? So you could actually, contribute to your retirement all the way up. Bankruptcy, if that was your thing.
Exactly. And if that's the thing.
Yeah, it's still protected. So what's important about that is that, for me, if my businesses go under, I'm probably going to be in really bad shape, right?
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm already going to go down in flames personally, if my businesses go down, then the personal guarantee, may make sense.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing I want to add to that.
Okay.
Personal guarantee is not for everybody. If you've got multiple different types of business with different business partners, you've got a lot of different things going on. I get those types of people who say, okay, I'm not going to endanger my 10 partners over here and over here. And, so there's some situations where it makes sense, but mostly it doesn't make sense not to.
Exactly. In most cases, but I love that. And again, this is why you have the consultation. People can have the conversation. I know everybody thinks that they can do it on their own, but you have been such an amazing resource for me personally, and now for my students with the business credit and the business funding, that I absolutely say use the link below, reach out to your team. They're amazing. So let's keep going with business funding, because everybody wants business funding. But I think in many cases, what trips them up, I get this question all the time: how much money do I need? And they'll say, how much money should I apply for? How much should I ask for? And I'm never really able, because I don't know you. You know what I mean? I don't know the person. They'll just type, Noelle, how much should I ask for? And I'm like, I don't even know you. But let's talk about that question, because I think it is a poignant question. Because should you go for a small amount, or should you just go for the highest amount that you could think of and let them counter to you? What's kind of your professional advice on, or is it a percentage of the business? So I'll let you answer professionally, because I bet you have a much better answer than I do.
Sure, yeah, and people ask me that all the time. So how much funding am I going to get? Because most people that come to us, they don't have a fully built out business credit profile, and in most cases, that's going to be the first step, right? So that when you do go for the bigger options with loans and other things, that they can pull your business credit and see that there's a lot going on there. So when it comes to how much should they ask for, it's completely different depending upon the person's situation. There is no way to determine that. I know with our program that we guarantee $50,000 worth of limits in our business credit program, but usually, and that's on the low end, we guarantee that. So, usually it's a lot more than that. So people that aren't quite ready for the loan, which is most, unfortunately, we tell them that's coming in the future, right? But for now, we've got to focus on really building out your business credit, so that when you do have those opportunities, when that business credit or that financial institution looks at your business credit, they see a lot going on. You're able to separate yourself from the other small business owners who are likely not going to make it. That's how you do it. You show that you're working with other financial institutions. It's much like personal credit. If I didn't have a personal credit profile or limited personal credit profile, and I went out and tried to get a high limit credit card, a high end car, a loan, not going to work out, right? They don't have a way to evaluate what type of risk that I pose to them.
Right.
Credit is just like that, except for it's like that on steroids. They're even more skeptical, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good answer. That is so you actually said something. I was like, wait a minute. I think people are going to want to hear that. So one of the benefits, like I said, I love you because you helped me. So of course I'm going to sing your praises from the top of the mountains. You know what I mean? I remember using all of my credit cards, my personal credit cards, to run ads and, get going and start, my business. And it was a great thing for me because it did start generating customers and leads, and I was able to turn those leads into customers. But it ruined my credit score as I was maxing those credit cards out, and, just some of the things that you taught me with debt consolidation and restarting the student loans, for example. That was one I was just like, wait, you're right. My balance is higher than the original limit. And just some of those amazing things that you taught me about personal credit. And to now know that you are helping people with business credit, you are always unique, because obviously you are not just for everyone. That's one of the things that, Justin Mirche, you are amazing. You guys give the consultation, but of course, everyone is not going to be your client. That's okay. We know that. But you offer some unique propositions and some unique guarantees when people work with you that my students absolutely love. So do you want to share some of those?
Yeah. And so, when it comes to the personal credit side of things, we don't take on clients we can't help. That's very unusual for a company.
Very unusual. Not everybody's like, just give me the money and I'll drag you along for 7 months to 10 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So personal credit's tricky, right? It's very tricky. If the client has goals and aspirations that are not realistic with what's possible, then we're transparent about that. If we feel like the credit profile is just so difficult that we're not going to create a lot of value there by helping them. In other words, that will help their credit profile a little bit, but it's not going to really get them back into the middle of credit or get them back into being, credible again. When it comes to getting approvals, we'll state that. And then on the business side of things, so much of business credit, many of our business owners have multiple businesses. And so much of it is about education. Right? I mean, the coaching is really what our clients are paying for. They're paying for expertise. They're paying for a team that they can call whenever they need to. I mean, they text me all the time. I give them my number directly. I tell them, I said, I'm busy. You can always reach out to me, but texting's better because I'm on the phone all the time. And they're being taught a process and a strategy that will work for the next business and the next business and the next business. A lot of times they say, well, I have 2 or 3 businesses. Should I enroll 3 times? And I'm like, probably not.
Right, because you'll take that information. And that is incredible. People don't realize that. And that is why another thing that is so valuable. You will share what you did, what you're doing, why this works, why that doesn't work, so that you are actually educated. And this is a lifelong thing. Like I said, I worked with you, maybe that was 8 years ago, you know what I mean? And I'm still able to even share some of the information that you shared with me with others and educate them, because it wasn't this hidden thing that you were doing that you kept all secret, like, now I got you these points and you have no idea how I did it. So that is an amazing thing, the education and the information that you're sharing. And then, like you said, this personal relationship where I'm not just going to take on every single client. I'm going to take on clients where I know I can help you, and I'm going to be available, and I'm going to be a resource to you. And to me, that's unmatched in this market.
No, absolutely. I agree with it. And that, especially on the personal side, the business credit side's a little bit different. People always say, will I be successful? I'm like, if you follow our strategy and you participate in the process and you let us coach you, you will be successful. You will. On the personal side of things, sometimes we have to make that call for them because they're unfortunately have been watching too much YouTube.
With snippets or even worse, shorts.
Yeah. And so they're being told, that they can, get to an 800 in 7 days. And, I wish it worked that way, but it really does. Also, Noelle, I love you're so complimentary, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate our partnership. I love our partnership. And I love our clients that call us and they're like, Noelle. And I love to share my experience with, just being a friend, being a partner, and just really what a solid person you are, because when, people sometimes are like, so do you know Noelle? Or, hey, make sure you tell Noelle that I called. And I'm like, does she know you? But I'll tell her. In fact, I think I've texted you. I think hey, this person says hello, but the reality is that, the way that you educate your clients, the way that you really try to form a team around them that's going to really help them succeed. You don't see a whole lot of that. You don't see a whole lot of that. So I feel very blessed to be part of the team.
I appreciate that. And you're an amazing part of my team. Like I said, if someone comes to us and, they want to buy real estate, but they don't have any money and they have bad credit, okay, we're going to have to make a detour. You know what I mean? We're going to have to put you on Justin's train and kind of get you some of these assets, because I don't think people realize what a great asset having built business credit is for your business.
No, absolutely. It's huge. It's huge and mostly neglected. That's the funny thing. It's huge and it's mostly neglected.
Yeah.
The opportunity on the business side is incredible, exponentially higher than what you see on the personal side.
Yeah.
Personal credit was never designed to support a 6-7 figure business.
Right.
Credit was designed to support a 6-7.
Right. Exactly. And 8 figure and 9 figures, like we said, and you can really grow it just by knowing the rules and knowing that there is a difference between the two. and being willing to take a risk. You know what I mean? I think that's another thing. As entrepreneurs, we already have taken a risk. You know what I mean? We've already kind of gone out and we're walking our own path, and not continuing to keep doing that with the business credit, learning about it, stepping into a world that you may be unfamiliar with, and really getting good at it, because it is so powerful. It is so powerful. So I thank you so much, Justin Mirche. Anything else before we go today? Again, the link is in the description box. You get a free consultation with Justin Mirche Consulting. He can help with that. His team, he has a great team, great reputation. Like I said, he has personally helped me and my students. So any closing words before we head out of here?
You know what? Just that things are going to start getting better, right? Inflation's coming down. The Fed's going to start, decreasing rates. Unless there's some strange thing that happens, rates are going to start coming down. Funding is going to get looser. Things are going to get better. I'm excited about this year and next.
Yes, that's a good point too. So I'm always, this is why we connect. We have this optimism. Everything is not strawberries and sunshine every single day, but a lot of times there are great things on the horizon. There are so many opportunities when you start to step towards things. Make the phone call. Like I said, click the link below, have the conversation. It absolutely is some great opportunities out there when you're willing to go do that. Like I said, I'm sharing my confidence, my friend and my, my partner, Justin Mirche Consultant, because I just want to make sure that you have all of the knowledge, all of the tools, and all of the resources that you need to be successful. This is Noelle Randall and Justin Mirche, to your success.